A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Thus, all judges of Madina's Supreme Court made their accurate judgment and announced me as Imam Mahdi Sallam forever, and was given to Alayhiwa a letter to give me a complete office. In Alayhiwa Palace, and I am new emperor of Arab. Thus, they gave their result of judgment. And then I was ready to be emperor, and all Kaaba and Masjid and Imam on my side. So many ministers, so many moment people, Hafiz, Alim, all came on my side. And thus I was ruling in Makkah, Medina. And by this time my religion minister and foreign policy minister and communication minister made a set of complete work. They booked whole world's television channel so that I will give lecture before whole world as Imam Mahdi Sallam. Even all social media of internet are prepared to post my live video, talk and lectures from the side of Allah Rabbul Alamin, from the side of Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to whole world. And thus I went to my new office after small war. I and my followers were winning, and so many mines and gold mines looting, thefting were stopped by me and my followers, and thus we become enough strong to be a government and to rule on whole Arab peacefully. And thus one day with Kaaba's Imam, present Imam, Sudais and 8th Imam alive at that time, we went in Alayhiwa Palace. Alayhiwa Palace is a 6 kilometer tall long palace, and there was no facility for food in whole day for the workers of Alayhiwa. And so many sections of this were used to kept as hunger for only little time to take food. And thus I made a rule and system by those people of Alayhiwa Palace controllers, and thus they managed all food for all workers in Alayhiwa Palace in 3 times a day, and those are free food and salary different and as same as like before, or I increased the scale. And thus, and when again come back to the point, when the date came that I have to give lecture before whole world in television, that was a nuclear vault like chamber and could not be affected by even nuclear bombs. Soundproof, airproof, all type, bulletproof room my ministers managed. And before that I sat on throne. The throne was not made by gold or silver, but enough diamond, those goldsmith and blacksmith made attached with the thorn, and my crown was also not by silver and gold, because wearing silver and gold for Muslim male is haram in Islam. So I use different metal and diamonds large size of diamonds that this world ever has seen on my crown. And thus I went to the place, and when I was entering in the soundproof room to give lecture to whole world, present rulers were in anger and wanted to stop me. They found foreigners' help, white people's help, and this Halima, like mother, also betrayed me, and she was gonna punished, and she was leading that side and claimed as my full mothership, but she was not mother. And so they aimed a machine gun, its weapon, so my side officers and soldiers, and suddenly so many found Imam in their side also, and it started to war, and my bodyguards surrounded me. Some died and took me to the room to talk before whole world in all television channel of this world. And I started with Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, and that room was empty, so I read Sallam Alayhiwa, and then there was Sallam, and I read Zikir, and then I started to talk. And when time came, I started to talk with the whole world, before whole world, as Emperor Imam Mahdi Sallam, for the first time and last time episode. And thus I give lecture 1 hour, even 1 hour first, and so many minutes I could not remember accurate time, but 1 hour past, that's I can remember now. And thus I give my lecture, and those lectures, those messages I wrote in Medina live, in Makkah live, in Kaaba live, in Masjid Nabi live. I wrote those messages and more. I knew. I started to, with the help of Allah Ilham, I started to talk, and I said everything about me and everything to whole world. And I told to support me also as an emperor, but not as very, very sympathetic request, but I told with honor to support me, not as a request. And thus I started to rule as emperor on Saudi Arabia, and outside some warriors became shahid death, and they are like Sahabi radiallahu ta'ala anha and radiallahu ta'ala anhus, and they died. And I prayed a lot to Allah Rabbul Alamin to them. They were graved in Jannatul Baqi, and their family decided it, and thus I also compensate their every family, and with huge amount of money and its safety, security support. Thus, but Alhamdulillah, we won the war, and time to time my 1 crore Army, Navy, Air Force and spy groups were well trained by me by this time, and I wrote several training structures for them to make a proper army, so that they can attack and win on criminal-like rulers around the world, and to stop every time of crime, as we know as crime in Islam. Thus I formed a huge army. Even I used to go in that type of raid with them on proper enemy targets, and thus even one of us one time could not came back accurately in a helicopter and dropped in a country. We took even that also from that country again back to Saudi Arabia. And within few months, within 2 years, I win whole world in last time episode. Thus, and still some people and countries not coming under me. And one day Jibreel Sallam came with Burak, and I told his Jibreel Sallam, but some Imam of Kaaba and Masjid Nabi refused and insulted. So Jibreel Sallam killed them in a second and burned them, and will send them in hell before everyone's eyes, and there presented all people looked what is hell, Jahannam in real. And thus they brought him on, and I went on Burak and Jibreel Sallam, and Allah destroyed those countries, did not come under my ruling, and refused and rebelled. I destroyed even their continent, uprooted by Jibreel alayhi salam, all type of dangerous fiery stone, storm of hell, fire, earth on those nations, and destroyed more than Lut alayhi salam's nation. They become burned acid water like continent on that. Thus I found whole world to rule. I create job for whole Arab world, and especially Saudi Arabia, as I increased army to 1 crore. And more development was happening, and nowadays are coming to distribute treasure of Kaaba to all people. And by this time, by looking truth mujiza, whole world became Muslim, and they are supported by money from me, from Allah Rabbul Alameen self, and thus I win everyone's heart. I won everyone's heart. Actually, Kaaba's treasure is an unlimited treasure that has no end, and it comes from Allah Rabbul Alameen, because the home Kaaba mosque is the home of Allah, and Allah's home's treasure also unending, like Allahu Ashun Alim. But Allah has given power to me, only I can open the treasure. Alhamdulillah, in short, those are the incident of taking and sitting on the post as emperor, and post name was emperor, and Imam Mahdi Alayhiwa. And thus I became emperor in last time episode. Alhamdulillah for this. What I used to eat, I love Dumba's meat most, and every day I used to eat also Dumba's meat, and I tried to eat Dumba's meat in last time episode a lot. But on the order of Allah, now I live in different country. In that country, I passed my childhood, young age, and thus I live there on the order of Allah for this type of war. But time has come, Allah is saying by Ilham and every situation saying to go back in Saudi Arabia to that landlord's house. I must go, and you all my followers must help me always, so that I can go back to Saudi Arabia. But at first to that landlord's home, to the doctor, to the female doctor for my treatment. And thus, Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sallallahu alaihi wa sallam.